Hey, welcome everybody. This is Ron Stasko, and we're tuning back into Every Day. And great news on 2 points. Yesterday, I thought that I deleted yesterday's video, the episode 3 of Every Day. And today, when I was preparing to redo the video, great news, I found it. And I was able to upload it today, so if you missed yesterday because of me, the good news is you get to see it anyway. Um, Also, some other great news is I received permission from our friends at Your Will Be Done Ministries to share the information about the Bible study that we're doing this year through the Bible. And what you need to do if you want to follow along is tune in on your Facebook page to the YWBD family. Just look up YWBD family on Facebook and then join the group, become part of the family, and then you can actually be a part of the Bible Walk. And here's information about the Bible Walk on the YWBD family page. It shows the January readings and how to join. And we're doing the YWBD Bible Walk. Read the entire Bible in 1 year. The way they have it set up is they have it set up to correlate Monday through Friday, and they give people a chance to catch up on Saturday and Sunday. And the one thing I'm doing differently is that I'm working through it every day. For me, what I found is that when I stop, sometimes I don't go back to what I'm supposed to be doing. So it's consistency. It's the structure of doing things every day. It's like brushing your teeth. You get up every morning, you brush your teeth. You don't skip out on brushing your teeth because then you become offensive to people. So what I like to do is do the readings every day. Yesterday we talked about Proverbs 1, and we talked about really what the book of Proverbs is about, and that's attaining wisdom and discipline, understanding, and words of insight, and it helps you to live a disciplined and structured life. And if you're looking for a place to start in your journey with God and you're not sure where, this is really a good place because there's 31 chapters. You could actually read one chapter every day. And what's great is that as you go through and you read these different proverbs, you are gaining morsels of wisdom and morsels of knowledge, so that you have good understanding about how to handle different situations in life. And really does talk about a lot of different situations that people deal with. Yesterday he was warning his son about not giving in to sinners, not and being enticed by sinners that want you to do stupid things, join a gang, hurt people for no reason, steal from people and line your pockets with their valuables. And he says to his son, don't rush in to sin with them. Don't let your feet be on their path. And what I thought I'd do today, since we don't have another chapter to go into, is really just read the rest of Proverbs chapter 1, starting in verse 20. We did 1 through 19 yesterday, and so I'm going to read the warnings against rejecting wisdom. In verse 20 of Proverbs chapter 1, it says, "Wisdom calls aloud in the street. She raises her voice in the public squares. At the head of the noisy streets she cries out. In the gateways of the city she makes her speech. How long will you simple ones love your simple ways? How long will you mockers delight in mockery, and fools hate knowledge? If you had responded to my rebuke, I would have poured out my heart on you and made my thoughts known to you. But since you rejected me when I called, no one gave heed when I stretched out my hand. Since you ignored my advice and would not accept my rebuke, I in turn will laugh at your disaster. I will mock when calamity overtakes you. When calamity overtakes you like a storm, when disaster sweeps over you like a whirlwind, when distress and troubles overwhelm you, then they will call to me, but I will not answer. They will look for me, but I will not be found. Since they hated knowledge and did not choose to fear the Lord, since they would not accept my advice and spurned my rebuke, they will eat the fruit of their ways and be filled with the fruit of their schemes. For the waywardness of the simple will kill them, and the complacency of the fools will destroy them. But whoever listens to me will live in safety and be at ease without fear or harm." This is a great passage of Scripture because it's a warning against rejecting wisdom. And the way that King Solomon approaches this parable with his son is describing wisdom as a woman that is going out into the streets, into the public square, into the noisy streets and the gateways of the cities, and proclaiming these truths. And if you followed along with what was just read, it doesn't hold back any punches, and it doesn't sugarcoat anything. It challenges the mockers, asking them how long they're going to delight in their mockery. It challenges the foolish, saying, why, how long are you going to continue to hate knowledge? People don't think that they're fools. I've been a fool. I was a fool for probably most of my life. People don't think they're fools, especially when we're young. We think we know it all. We think we're wise. I know when I was in my 20s, I had it all figured out. I was going to conquer the world. I knew what I wanted to do. In reality, I had no idea what I wanted to do, and I believed in myself, and that was a good thing, but I was not secure in knowing who I was, and as a result, I fell into a lot of foolishness, doing a lot of stupid things, thinking I was making right decisions, not heeding the wisdom of my mother or my father when they suggested to me in my life not to make decisions that they felt could alter my life. And they did. They did. And it's nobody's fault but mine because of my pride and my ego. And I didn't want to listen. I wanted to do it all myself. I even said, hey, if I'm making a mistake, I want it to be my mistake. I don't want to be doing, choosing what you have to say, because it's my life. Well, it is your life. And when you choose to make foolish choices, you're going to end up eating the fruit of those choices. And when you call out in those times of desperation and you feel like nobody's there, you really need to ask yourself, why do I feel like there's nobody there? So many times I hear people calling out to God saying, God, why don't you hear my prayer? Why do I feel like I'm talking to the ceiling? You didn't hear me. And the reality is maybe we didn't seek and hear him when his wisdom was calling out to us at every place in the city saying, hey, listen to me. I'm trying to teach you something. I'm trying to show you a way. Here, the woman calls out in every part of the city, challenging the foolish, challenging the ones that continue in their simple ways, not thinking about the things of God. And it even says, if you would have responded to my rebuke. What's a rebuke? A rebuke is when someone says, hey, you need to be corrected. You know when you're being rebuked. When someone comes at you and says, whoa, this is not right. This is wrong. It's a stern correction. And it says that, in this case, the figure of wisdom says that if you would have responded to my rebuke, I would have poured out my heart on you. What are you going to pour out in your heart? You're going to pour out these thoughts that give you the knowledge, that give you the correction and say, hey, stop, wait, listen to what I'm saying. If you do this, it's going to wreck you. But if you choose not to do this and wait patiently and submit yourself to what I want for you, then I will make my thoughts known to you. You'll understand. But since you rejected me when I called you and you gave no heed to me, I stretched out my hand. Think about that. How many times have we been given the hand? Talk to the hand. Talk to the hand. Wisdom does that to us too. When you reject wisdom, and then you come back afterwards and say, hey, I told you. I told you so. Since these people ignore wisdom's advice and wouldn't accept the correction when it could have saved them, then what happens? In turn, wisdom laughs at our disaster. It mocks our calamities when they overtake us. When disaster sweeps over us like a whirlwind, and when distress and troubles overwhelm us, we call out, but then we don't hear the answer and we wonder why. We think, but God, I did all these things, but God, I followed you. Yeah, but you didn't listen to the correction. We know when God's speaking to us and saying, hey, take a step back. Hold on a second. Don't lose your cool about this. Really listen to what I'm trying to tell you here. There's a better way. Trust me. If we do that, then our life changes. If we listen, we live in safety. Trouble is averted. And then we can be at ease. We don't have to be stressed out. We don't have to be freaking out about what am I going to do now that everything that I thought was going to happen fell through. We can be without fear and without harm. Those are promises. In the Bible, there are so many promises. And it took me years, I'm literally like 2 decades to realize that there are promises in this book that are basically like rights given to us if we choose to follow Him and listen to His wisdom so that we can live in safety, be at ease, without fear and without harm. You don't hear about stress in that. We don't hear about calamities in that. This is a promise. If you listen to wisdom and you fear the Lord, you will have safety. Your life will be at ease. You will be without fear, and you will be without harm. Now, I can tell you that over 30 years of following God and over 30 years of learning the hard way, that if you take the time to really own these words and really own the things that you've done or have failed to do when it comes to listening and really letting God be in control of your situations. You know, life's all about our choices. Everything is a choice. Where you are right now in your life, ultimately, is a choice. It was a choice that you made. If you're not happy with your life, then you've made the choices to be, most of the time, right where you're at. Now, when you're a child and you grow up and you're in someone else's household, you're under that person's authority, okay? But when you turn 18 and you don't want to live under mom and dad's rule anymore, you have the choice either to follow their way or to go your way. And most of us, when we're 18, we're ready to conquer the world. We want to go out and do whatever we want to do. But once we go out into the world, then it's all about our choices. Mom and dad, you know, what they did was in the past. But what you do moving forward, everything that you do in that steps forward is your choice. I gave my life to Christ nearly 30 years ago. On February 20th or 22nd, someplace in that time frame. 30 years ago, I accepted the Lord as my Savior. I said, God, I can't do this anymore. I don't know how. I thought I knew how. But my life's a mess. And I am not where I want to be. And I don't know what to do. And then I followed the Lord faithfully for 10 years. But I just made a lot of stupid mistakes. I didn't have wisdom. I rejected wisdom. I did a lot of things in this book that they say don't do. Because I thought, you know, I accepted God. I'm cool. Me and Jesus are cool. But I'm still going to do it my way. You know, I have my relationship with God. And no one's going to tell me how to live my life. What I learned was that I didn't have it figured out still, and there were a lot of things in the Bible that I wasn't doing. This roadmap that we're given, this gold mine that we're given, and saying, "Hey, I didn't know, I didn't understand." Well, you didn't know because you chose not to take and listen to wisdom when it was being given to you, whether it was from a family member or friends or just advice from people. And and then when the bottom falls out in your life, when the rug's pulled out from under you and you feel like you're laying on your face in the dirt and you have no one there and you feel like the whole world hates you and is laughing at you, that's when people give up. And unfortunately, they don't give up. They don't give up the hurt or the insult or the foolishness. Um, they don't give up their lives to Christ. What happens is they end up giving up their life, period. And people die that way. And so we don't want to be that kind of person. And the Bible offers us a way out of the craziness, the foolishness, the stress, the constant drama in our lives. And He allows us to have a life that is filled with safety, that is filled with ease, without fear and without harm. Can you have a life with ease if your car breaks down? Yes, you can. Can you have a life with ease if you still have bills to pay next week? Yes, you can do that because you have come into a relationship with a God that is your provider and the one that cares and takes care of all your resources, and you submit those things to Him and say, God, I need to help to take care of these things. My car broke down, I didn't expect it. I've got a doctor's appointment, I didn't see it. It was a $900 bill. I don't know how I'm going to pay it. But I don't have to live in fear that it's not going to happen. I don't have to live in stress that it's not going to happen. I can live in peace and I can live in safety in a life with ease, knowing without fear or harm that God's got all of these things taken care of and covered for me. So what I'd like you to do is take this time to think about this section of the Bible that we read in Proverbs 1, verse 20 through 33, and really ask yourself, am I listening to wisdom? Or am I a fool? Or am I just a mocker? Like I don't care. I just don't. And ask yourself, have I listened to and accepted the rebuke? And if I did I hear the correction? Did I get from wisdom their thoughts, wisdom's thoughts, so that I can understand how to navigate what I'm doing in my life? God, I want to thank you for this day. I want to thank you for being with us and for all that you did to help me find the video from yesterday, from helping me get the work done that I needed to get done today, from helping us do this little message today out of the second half of Proverbs. And this, listen, we did all this, and this is just one chapter in Proverbs. There's 30 more. And to me, they're just as exciting. They're just as filled with all this rich, awesome wisdom and all these promises. And so, God, I want to thank you for sharing this with us today. And I pray that we take hold of your promises and that we walk with wisdom in Jesus' name. Take care, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow on Every Day.